If you are looking for a place that you can get great value for the money, you can have really high quality of life and not spend that much, at least provided that your lifestyle fits within a certain set of parameters and you're happy with, that particular place. There's a new residency by investment program that is worth considering. And it's in a place that most people would not consider. They have not considered for a while. And certainly when I first visited there, I would not have considered it at all in a million years. But I think there's some reasons why that may be changing a little bit and it might be worth considering. So I've had a few different people over the last while. A good friend of mine who has been living there for the last bit. One of our employees has been kind of nomading around in that area for the last few months. And I figured I would dive in and discuss it. And that is Egypt. So Egypt is typically, do you think about it? No, you probably don't think about it. But there is a lot to appreciate, particularly if you're looking for high quality of life to cost ratio. So let's dive in and talk about it now. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Welcome. I am Michael. We are Offshore Citizen and we help people to move to different countries, to do tax planning, to set up themselves up with banking, with getting residence permits, visas, citizenship by investment, etc. And so if those things are interesting to you, either in Egypt or to UAE or to dozens of other places around the world, Portugal, Uruguay, Paraguay, Mexico, etc., please reach out to us. Happy to help you to both optimize your situation as well as relocate. And if you're interested in that, you can book a call with me, calendly.com/Michael-Rosmer, link in the description below, or send a message through offshorecitizen.net. Okay, so really quickly, Egypt has this program. And what is this program like? You can either invest in real estate or you can do a bank deposit. If you're investing in real estate, $200,000 gives you a 5-year visa, $100,000 gives you a 3-year visa, $50,000, which is pretty low threshold, which again kind of comes to this whole point that I'm talking about here, gives you a 1-year visa. Obviously, these are renewable, or bank deposit. You either have $100,000, which is going to be in a state bank, and that's going to give you a 3-year visa, or $50,000 is going to give you a 1-year visa. So right off the bat, you can see like, hey, listen, I can buy. First of all, there aren't many places where you can buy a property for $50,000 or $100,000. So right off the bat, that's kind of cool. And certainly I have friends who have a variety of apartments there. And so is it like an amazing cash flow place or something? No, it's not. It's just part of a diversification plan. And you can be in a situation where you can get a residence permit. So that's interesting. Now, historically, Egypt is not what I would describe as like the epic place to live. It's a very poor country, unfortunately. It has, like, if you're in Cairo, it's a really big city, 20 million people. It is quite polluted. The traffic is really bad. And so when I first there, went initially to Alexandria and then to Cairo, and I was like, yeah, no, I would never want to be here. And it was a really interesting cultural experience. However, of course, the pyramids are there, and there's history and Luxor and the Red Sea and all this sort of thing. So all these things made it compelling as like a place you sort of feel like you have to go. But to live, it was like, no, no, no. But a few things are kind of improving. So first of all, the residence process is interesting. Second of all, as I said, like just the cost of living that you get. To give some context, we hired a car to take us from Alexandria to Cairo, which is like 4 or 5 hours. And it's like, at the time, I think it was $25. This employee of mine said they recently paid $60 for like 5-hour drive. You think like they have to drive there and go back, right? So I don't even know how they afford the cost of the car for that much. It's just mind blowing that you can get that. But it's a big deal that I have a good friend who he lives there. It's like, okay, he has a driver and car, and it's actually like you kind of need it culturally, but it's a nice little thing. And so kind of the ability to access a lifestyle with service around it is pretty cool. Certainly there can be some great weather, there can be all sorts of things. He rides horses, and so that's really interesting. Participates in various different lessons and sports. Business networking, look, like it's not someplace like UAE where there's everybody coming in there. That's just not the case. I don't know that I would say that it is a place to pursue local opportunities that much. However, there are some interesting areas that can be quite nice. So first of all, New Cairo is meaningfully nicer than Old Cairo. So right off the bat, much better infrastructure, much nicer, much newer. There's actually like a lot of pretty nice hotels and things like that in Cairo. If you go and you go to Hurghada is this area, and there's El Guna is kind of a resort town, and there's a bunch of other stuff on the Red Sea that people find is like super nice. And so that's just like, you can go and you can live in a place that's pretty nice. It's very inexpensive, and for a certain spectrum of what you're looking for, that can be a really good quality of life. And, there's a shortage of places today in the world that the prices have not gone kind of crazy. So I figured it was worth bringing up for that reason. The other thing that's just interesting about it is, look, like a lot of people are looking to diversify their investments. Bank deposits in Egypt, quite high. Now, safety of those banks, questionable. You can kind of debate that whole conversation, but certainly The interest rates have been for a long time quite high and remain quite high. As I said, you can go and you can buy property there. There's cheap property options available, which is not something you can say in a lot of parts of the world. And so if you're just thinking, oh, you know what, like I'd like to diversify a little bit, I'll invest somewhere like that anyway. And by the way, because I'm investing there, I can get a residence permit. It's great. It takes about 1 to 3 months, we'll call it 3 months, to get the residence permit processed. So not totally insane. And it's, I think, for a certain set of people, worth checking out. Is it for everybody? Absolutely not. I mean, there's no one size fits all. I always mention that. And that's why we make videos about places all over the world in terms of where you live, in terms of where you get residency permits, in terms of where you get citizenships, bank accounts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But this one is definitely a underappreciated residence permit, partially because it's so easy and partially because of the fact that I think there are certain people who are like, hey, listen, I'd love a place that I could have low cost of living. And yeah, I wouldn't say that quality of life is going to be amazing if you're in Alexandria or Old Cairo or something. But if you're someplace like Laguna, then you might find it's quite wonderful. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Put it in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.